Hello everyone. So today we shall study about heat transfer. Heat exchanger analysis. We all know this device is used for several industrial purposes and even automobiles. Okay. So the basic feature of the heat exchanger is to transfer heat. So between two fluids or two surfaces. Okay. The performance of heat exchanger is related with its governing parameters. U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, whether it respect to the various modes of heat transfer. A is the total surface area of heat transfer which is in contact with the two surfaces. T1 and T2 are the temperatures of inlet and outlet. So let's see this diagram where the two pipes have been attached, where hot fluid is been sent and even cold fluid is been sent side by side. Okay, so what happens here? The temperature of hot fluid will be reduced, gradually increasing the temperature of the cold fluid. So hence the heat exchange will be taking place between these two bodies. Okay, so let TH1 be the temperature at hot body inlet, TH2 temperature of hot body at outlet. Similarly for cold fluid. So the difference of inlet, so that is taken as theta 1. The outlet difference has been taken as theta 2 as a temperature difference. Okay, so there must be some heat exchange between hot fluid and cold fluid. So with respect to hot fluid, it is given as mcp delta t, where m is the mass flow rate of hot body, specific heat of hot fluid, and this is the temperature difference. Similarly for a cold fluid, so then the overall heat exchange between the heat exchanger will be taken as q is equals to UA theta m. What is the theta m? So that is nothing but a logarithmic mean temperature difference. So what is this parameter and why it is used, and we will be discussing in the next slides. So this is very much important derivation. Uh, that is the derivation of logarithmic mean temperature difference for a parallel flow. So let's start on what is parallel flow. Parallel flow defines when two fluids are moving in a same direction. Suppose consider these are the two pipes where cold fluid is sent, in between that hot fluid will be sent. So there will be heat exchange between the hot fluid and the cold fluid. But parallel flow defines the direction of the two fluids in the same direction. So if you draw the temperature distribution with respect to cold and hot fluids, you can see here that is the temperature of hot fluid will be gradually decreasing. Okay, this heat will be absorbed by the cold fluid, and the temperature will be gradually increasing of the cold fluid. Okay, so these temperatures has been taken as theta 1 as a difference at inlet and theta 2 at the outlet. So for the derivation, okay, we just take a elemental area at a particular point. Okay, so that at that point for a hot fluid the temperature is Th for hot fluid, Tc for cold fluid. Okay, now theta defines the temperature difference of that particular point between hot fluid and cold fluid. So now let us consider the elemental area of heat exchanger. The rate of flow through this elemental area is given by Q is equals to UA delta T, where U is the overall heat transfer coefficient. We will take the temperature difference at that particular point, hence Th minus Tc. As a result of heat exchanger dq through mean area dA, the hot fluid is cooled by dTh. Correct? Okay. Now the temperature will be considered with respect to hot body as Th, and it will be gradually transferred to the cold body, and the temperature Tc will be considered as the temperature at that particular point of a cold fluid. So if you take energy balance equation, what happens? The energy released by hot fluid will be equal to the energy gained by the cold fluid. You can take in terms of heat. Okay, so this is the formula. So minus indicates the heat loss, and positive sign indicates the heat gained by the cold fluid. Okay, now if you rearrange this, if you rearrange with respect to dTh, what happens? dq divided by mh into cph. So this will be going to the denominator. We will be taking for a derivation purpose mh into cph as ch, capital C h. Similarly, m suffix c into cpc, you can take it as c suffix c for cold fluid. So this terms is called as heat capacity with respect to hot fluid, heat capacity with respect to cold fluid. Now if you take a difference of these two, okay, if you take a difference of these two, th minus delta dtc, so you will be getting this. Okay, take dq common. So we know the difference of th minus tc. You can see here we have taken it as d theta, correct? So now, so this is the formula. Replace dq with the equation 1. Just substitute as ua delta d. Okay. Now, so th minus tc is theta. Just transfer it to denominator to the left hand side. If you integrate between the two parameters, that is integration with respect to inlet and outlet, so 1 by theta becomes integration ln theta. If you apply the limits between 2 and 1, it is theta 2 by theta 1. Similarly, if you apply integration for dA, it will become A. So rest all the parameter remains same. We know that CH we have considered there. Just substitute CH as this formula. Okay, if you replace CH with this formula, you will get this. Okay, just take a common of Q and rearrange the equations. So there you will be getting this. We know that theta 2 is a difference, temperature difference at the outlet. Theta 1 is the temperature difference at inlet. So if you rearrange it, you will get this. From this, you find the total heat transfer Q, that is UA, theta 2 minus theta 1 divided by ln theta 2 minus theta 1. We know that this is the term parameter, we call it as theta m. As I told you, theta m is the logarithmic mean temperature difference. You just replace it theta m by this factor. Okay. So this is the basic derivation with respect to parallel. Okay. Similarly, we shall solve for counterflow. As you know, the parallel flow indicates the two fluids which are moving in same direction. For a counterflow, the two fluids will be moving in a opposite direction. See, for example, cold fluid is moving towards left, hot fluid is moving towards right. Okay, then how to draw a temperature distribution for this type of flow arrangement? You can see here. Temperature of a hot fluid will be gradually decreasing from one side. Okay, since the fluid of a cold fluid is being sent from a left side, there will be gradually increase in the temperature due to heat which is gained from hot fluid. Okay, these two temperatures will be taken as theta 1 at the inlet and theta 2 at the outlet. Similar procedure with respect to parallel flow, we have to consider the elemental area. Okay, there the temperature difference remains same, UA delta T. Okay, so here you have to take negative signs because heat is released with respect to two fluids. Okay, similarly, if you take what is delta H and delta C, and then you take a difference of these two, similarly dtq common. Okay, so again the procedure remains same with respect to all the formulas. Just substitute and integrate, you will be getting ln theta. If you rearrange these equations, so you have to take care in this step. So here theta 1 means th1 minus tc2. In a previous parallel flow it was th1 minus tc1. Because this is a parallel flow, hence we have to take that. But here in this derivation, this is counter flow, we have to take th1 minus tc2. This is the inlet temperature difference. Similarly, outlet temperature difference, theta 1 minus theta 2. Okay, if you rearrange, you will get the Q value as this. So ultimately, the heat transfer between the two fluids remains the same. Q is equals to UA theta m. Okay, so this is complete the derivation between differences between parallel flow and counter flow. So let's see how to solve few problems with respect to those formulas. Okay, so let's start the first formula, the first problem. The flow rates of hot and cold water streams running through a parallel flow heat exchanger are. So he has given the flow rates with respect to hot and cold, MH and MC. The inlet temperatures of hot and cold sides are, he has given the inlet temperatures of hot and cold, that is TH1 and TC1. The exit temperatures of the hot water is 45. He has given the exit temperature means TH2. If individual heat transfer coefficients on the both sides are 650, what is this overall heat transfer coefficient? U. He is asking to calculate the area of total heat exchanger which is required for this amount of heat exchange. So the value, unknown value is TC2, right? Just write down the values. So from the first figure you need to calculate heat transfer rate. Okay, since we don't know the temperature of cold fluid, we will be calculating with respect to hot fluid. We know MCP delta T, MHE is given, CPC you know, that is hot fluid water. Okay, substitute of water response at 4.18 into 187 into 10 raised to 3 joules per kg Kelvin. Okay, similarly you have to take the difference of inlet hot temperatures, that is TH1 minus TH2. See, this is very much important step. You should not take the inlet temperature difference, but you have to take the hot fluid temperature difference. That's all. 75 minus 40 will get the heat transfer rate. We know heat lost by water will be heat gained by water. Cold fluid remains the same. The same heat formula will be using to find the value of Tc2, because Tc2 is unknown. Okay, just find the value of Tc2. Which is given as 32 degrees. Okay, so next step is to find the logarithmic mean temperature difference. Next step is to find logarithmic mean temperature difference. This formula you have to take and solve to theta 1 and theta 2. If you substitute, you will getting theta m. Okay, now u. So he has given the inlet and inside and outside overall heat transfer coefficient. So this is the formula for overall heat transfer coefficient. Just substitute the values remains the same he has given in the question. So u will getting. So this is the universal formula for heat exchange, heat transfer between two fluids. So u a theta m. So we need to find area. Substitute the values you'll be getting in terms of meters. Very simple and basic problem. Let's see how to solve this. So he has given the parallel flow. So first identify the type of flow which has given in the question and draw the temperature distribution for your better understanding, to take the value of theta 1 and theta 2. Okay. Next one, heat transfer per hour. So what he has given? Q, heat transfer rate per hour. So inside temperature of coefficient he has given, outside heat transfer coefficient he has given. So HO, HI he has given. Similarly, inlet and outlet temperatures of hot fluid he has given, inlet and outlet temperatures of cold fluid he has given, inside and outside diameters of the tube he has given. Now what is asking? To calculate the length of the tube. Okay, what is asking? Length of the tube. But he is here, he is telling neglect the tube resistance. What is telling? Neglect the tube resistance. Okay, now Q, so these are the functions what he has given, parameters, just note down it. Very first step is to, if the temperatures of hot fluids and cold fluids for inlet and outlet is known, just calculate it in this manner. Okay, theta m will be known from here. Next step is to find the overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, since the diameters of the pipes are given, I repeat, since the diameters of the pipes are given, you just need to multiply the this formula. Okay, so this will be getting in the data handbook with respect to diameters are given with respect to inlet and outlet of the pipe. Okay, since he is telling neglect the tube resistance, what is telling? Neglect the tube resistance, you will be getting u. Now the total heat transfer rate is nothing but Q is equals to u a theta m, where u, theta m you can find, and the area is pi d naught into L. Correct? Pi d naught into L, length of the tube. So from here you just cross take it, transfer all the values to denominator, you can find the value of L in meters. Okay guys. So shall see the next problem. So in a certain double pipe heat exchanger, hot water flows at the rate of, his hot water he has given flow rate. So it gets cooled from 95 to 65. He has given the temperatures of the hot fluid. At the same time, 5000 kg of cold water. He has given the mass flow rate of cold water. 30 degree enters the heat exchanger. What is saying? 30 degrees enters the heat exchanger. So TC1 by is 30. The flow conditions are such that overall heat transfer coefficient remains constant. So what he has given? U. That determine total heat transfer area what is asking area required and the effectiveness assuming two streams are parallel flow is given parallel flow. Assume both the sides, both the streams CPS is given CP of the both the fluids. Okay. Since we have to convert into kg per second, so this is very much important step. Always mass flow rates must be in terms of kgs per second. Okay. Substitute values. So since we don't know the value of Tc2, by equating this energy balance equation between hot and cold fluid, you will be getting the value of Tc2. Okay. Next. Theta m, if you know the temperatures of hot fluid and cold fluid, you can find the theta m value. Since if you know the theta m, you know u and you know q. The only unknown will be here a. If you shift to either side, you will be getting area. Okay, simple. Since effectiveness formula remains anyhow, this I will be covering in the next chapter. Since he asked in this, I will just note down this. Effectiveness of heat exchanger is nothing but actual heat transfer divided by maximum possible heat transfer. Okay. Actual heat transfer will be given between hot fluid, heat transfer rate of hot fluid. Then the maximum heat transfer will be heat transfer rate between inlet. You can see it clearly. Inlet temperature difference you have to take. What is the maximum possible heat transfer? Inlet temperature difference. Why? Because inlet temperature difference will be maximum here. So the heat transfer will be maximum. Okay, this is very much important just to find the effectiveness. So next one. So in a center counterflow he has given. So counterflow means the two fluids will be moving in a opposite direction. So what he has given? Uh, heat heated water from 25 to 65 by an oil with a specific heat here. So now the two different fluids are water and oil. Okay. So now oil is in hot condition, water will be in a cold fluid condition. He has given the specific heat of oil and mass flow rate of is given as 0.9. Okay, hot fluid. The oil is cooled from, he has given the temperatures of hot fluid. If the overall heat transfer coefficient is, he has given as U, calculate the following. First one, the rate of heat transfer Q. If you know the temperatures, mass flow rate and specific heat, you can calculate the value of Q in kgs per second. Second, what is asking mass flow rate of water. If you equate the energy balance equation between hot fluid and cold fluid, you can find the value of mc from the another side. Okay. Similarly, the surface area of heat exchanger. To find the surface area, the universal formula is Q is equals to UA theta m. So since you can find the value of theta m, logarithmic mean temperature difference, if two temperature differences of hot fluid and cold fluid is known. Okay, substitute the value. You know the value of Q, U and theta m, find the value of area. Okay. So this completes basics of heat exchangers, two derivations and few problems based on counterflow and parallel. So thank you.